There's some simple things that you can do right now just to have more aura. Having more aura means that people respect you in some way or another just because of your presence. It's not something that we can explain, but there are some people that we actually respect or don't want to mess with, physical appearance or their background or stress tolerance. Aura isn't about being loud. It's not about flexing money, status, or dominance. In fact, most people who try to look powerful end up looking insecure. Real aura is quiet, it's controlled, it feels grounded. And the first way to farm aura in real life is simple. Control your body language. Before you ever speak, your body has already introduced you. If you walk fast and nervously, people feel it. If your shoulders collapse forward, people read it as weakness. If your eyes constantly look down, you signal uncertainty. You don't need to become robotic or exaggerated. You just need to move with intention. Slow down your movements slightly. Stand straight without stiffness. Keep your chin level. Make calm eye contact when someone speaks to you. Stillness creates presence. The reason stillness works is psychological. Most people are fidgeting, they're checking their phones, they're adjusting their posture every 10 seconds. When you are calm in the middle of chaos, you stand out immediately. You don't need to dominate the room, you need to be centered in it. The second way to build aura is speak less, but speak deliberately. People with aura don't rush to fill silence, they don't overshare, they don't explain themselves too much. When you respond, take a brief pause before answering. That pause does two things. It shows you're thinking, and it signals emotional control. Rushed speech feels reactive. Measured speech feels powerful. Lower your tone slightly. Slow your pace. Remove unnecessary words. Silence between sentences is not awkward. It builds weight. If every sentence you say is intentional, people start listening more carefully. The third layer of aura is emotional regulation. This is where most people fail. Anyone can look confident when things are easy. Aura shows itself under pressure. When someone challenges you, do you become defensive? When something goes wrong, do you panic? When someone disrespects you, do you react instantly? Reacting fast often means reacting emotionally. Responding slowly means responding strategically. If you can remain composed when others are heated, you automatically gain authority. Humans subconsciously associate calmness with control. Stress tolerance is attractive. Emotional stability is rare. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to correct every misunderstanding. Sometimes the most powerful move is non-reaction. That doesn't mean being passive. It means choosing your battles. Aura is less about force and more about restraint. Another overlooked factor is appearance. Not in terms of expensive brands, but in terms of sharpness. Clean shoes, well-fitted clothes, basic grooming, subtle fragrance. You don't need luxury, you need neatness. When you look put together, you signal discipline. Discipline translates into perceived competence, and competence commands respect. Farming aura isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about removing chaotic behaviors that leak insecurity. Straight posture, calm eyes, controlled voice, regulated emotions, clean presentation. None of these require talent, they require awareness. Most people lose aura because they try too hard. They chase attention instead of commanding it naturally. Presence isn't built through noise, it's built through control. And this is only the surface. If posture, voice, and emotional control are the surface level of aura, then the next layer is deeper, because real aura doesn't just come from how you move. It comes from what you represent. The next way to farm aura in real life is this: become competent at something that matters. Aura without substance fades quickly. You can stand straight, you can speak slowly, you can dress well, but if there is no depth behind the presence, people will feel the gap eventually. Competence creates silent confidence. When you know you are skilled, truly skilled, you don't need validation. You don't need to argue to prove yourself. You don't need to exaggerate your achievements. You carry yourself differently because you have evidence. This is why athletes, fighters, entrepreneurs, and leaders often have natural aura, not because they try to look intimidating, but because they've endured pressure. They've built capability. Pick something difficult. It could be a high-income skill, martial arts, public speaking, fitness. business, a creative craft. Then commit long enough to become dangerous at it, not average, not decent, dangerous. When you walk into a room knowing you can solve problems, handle stress, or protect yourself if necessary, your nervous system is calmer. That calmness radiates. Competence reduces insecurity, and insecurity is the biggest aura killer. The next layer is discipline. People can sense when you are impulsive, they can sense when you lack control. Discipline shows up in small details. Do you keep promises? Do you arrive on time? Do you finish what you start? Do you stay consistent when motivation fades? Discipline builds internal respect, and when you respect yourself, others feel it. There's a certain energy around someone who wakes up early, trains regularly, builds quietly, and doesn't complain. It's not flashy, it's solid. Solid people feel safe and intimidating at the same time. Another powerful aura multiplier is mystery. Oversharing kills mystique. If everyone knows your plans, your struggles, your next move, your entire personality within 5 minutes, there is nothing left to discover. People value what feels rare. You don't need to be secretive or cold. Just stop narrating your entire life. Let people wonder a little. Let them ask questions. Give concise answers instead of long explanations. Share selectively. When you don't seek attention, attention shifts toward you naturally. There is also something important about standards. Aura grows when you have boundaries. If you laugh at every joke just to fit in, if you tolerate disrespect to avoid conflict, if you say yes to everything because you fear rejection, your presence weakens. People respect those who respect themselves. That means you don't chase approval. You don't beg for inclusion. You don't accept low treatment. You can be polite and still firm. Saying no calmly is powerful. Walking away without drama is powerful. Choosing silence instead of arguing is powerful. Most people are emotionally accessible to everyone. They react to every comment, every opinion, every provocation. Scarcity creates value. If access to your attention feels limited, it becomes valuable. And here's the truth most won't admit. Aura is a byproduct of self-control. Control over your body, control over your emotions, control over your time, control over your impulses. The less controlled you are, the more predictable you are. The more predictable you are, the less intimidating you feel. Unpredictability combined with calmness creates depth, and depth creates aura. But there's still one more level, the internal shift that changes everything. Now we reach the final level. Because posture, competence, discipline, and mystery are external signals, the real source of aura is internal. You farm aura by detaching from the need to be liked. Most people walk into rooms unconsciously asking one question: do they approve of me? That question changes your posture, it changes your tone, it changes your decisions. When approval becomes your priority, authenticity disappears. You laugh when you don't find something funny, you agree when you actually disagree. You soften your opinions to avoid tension, you shrink to avoid intimidating others. And the moment you shrink yourself for comfort, your aura drops. People sense when you are seeking validation, but when you shift the internal question to, do I approve of this environment? Everything changes. You stop performing, you start observing, you become selective. Selectivity creates presence. You don't need to dominate conversations. You don't need to prove intelligence. You don't need to display status. You simply exist without chasing reactions. That emotional independence is rare, and rarity creates value. Another major aura multiplier is purpose. When you are building something bigger than yourself, a business, a vision, a mission, you stop obsessing over small social dynamics. You don't have time to overanalyze who looked at you. You don't have time to replay conversations in your head. You don't have time to compete for attention. You're focused. Focus creates intensity. Intensity creates gravity. People feel when someone has direction. Even if they don't understand your plan, they sense forward motion. Drifting people feel light. Driven people feel heavy. That psychological weight is aura. There's also something powerful about comfort with solitude. If you can sit alone without reaching for distraction, if you can go to places alone without feeling insecure, if you can build in silence without constant validation, you become unshakable. Most people fear being alone because they rely on external stimulation to define their identity. When you are comfortable in your own presence, others become comfortable around you. And the final piece, stop trying to farm aura directly. Ironically, the more you chase presence, the more artificial you become. Aura is a side effect. It's the result of self-respect, emotional control, competence, boundaries, purpose, independence. You don't wake up and decide to act intimidating. You wake up and decide to improve your life. Over time, that improvement reshapes your nervous system. You stop reacting, you stop chasing, you stop proving. You start building, you start observing, you start choosing. And when you become the chooser instead of the seeker, people feel it instantly. That's when rooms go quieter when you speak. That's when eye contact lingers a little longer. That's when respect appears without you asking for it. Not because you demanded it, but because your behavior, your discipline, and your internal stability earned it. Aura is not magic, it's alignment. Alignment between how you carry yourself, what you're building, and what you tolerate. Farm that alignment daily, and presence becomes automatic.